Welcome again to another edition of DX Engineering Videos. And today we're at the Dayton Hamvention, and it's John Amodeo, NN6JA, is going to sit in with us. Welcome, John.
Hi, Tim. Thank you. Thanks for asking me to do this.
You know, a lot of people know you from your work life, but what we don't know is how you got started in amateur radio.
Oh, God. You know, like everybody else, as a little kid, as an adolescent boy, I became fascinated with the radio technology, and I just thought it was such a cool thing. I got a copy of the American Radio Relay Handbook, probably the 1971 or 2 edition, and I read it over and over and over again until it made sense to me. And then, of course, I built my first radio, my first antenna, and got on the air and really just loved it. You know?
Wow, so you got on the HF bands.
Yeah, HF bands.
And made contacts. Mm-hmm. And have you always operated from California?
No, I grew up on Long Island.
Oh, okay.
So my first 20-something years were Long Island, mm-hmm. and I moved to California in 81 or 82, something like that. And you know, my amateur radio background helped me tremendously to find my way into the entertainment industry, mm-hmm. because my first job was as an audio video technician, just really installing, at the time, VCRs cost $2,500, and I worked for a company that would charge $60 an hour, 2-hour minimum, to install a VCR, if you can imagine that. Not a bad company. And our clients, because we were in Hollywood, our clients were writers, actors, producers, directors, and that's how I met and got hooked up with some of the movers and shakers in Hollywood. In fact, one of my first clients was Norman Lear.
Wow.
And I got to meet Norman and his people, and started to think that, well, it would be a pretty good life to work in television, and moved in that direction. And really, ham radio gave me at least the technological background that I needed to be able to do that.
Now, did you run into some hams along the way that helped you or guided you?
Interestingly, yeah. I think that I'm here today with 2 friends, Kevin and Stephen, and from my hometown on Long Island, and their father, who John Croak was his name, is a 5-time Emmy Award-winning editor for ABC. Mm-hmm. So I got to see that at a pretty early age, and he was a ham, and he introduced us kids to ham radio.
Wow.
And that was, I think, what inspired us to get our ham radio licenses. And then, of course, the study and the database that you have as a ham in your head helps you pretty much, like, how could a ham radio operator not be able to hook up a stereo or a VCR? You certainly could.
Right.
And then that gave me the basis for at least to get into the entertainment industry, and then I just sort of moved along from position to position over the years and wound up ultimately producing.
Right, right. So now out in California, do you have, are you a member of an amateur radio club?
I am. I'm a member of a couple of clubs. Because I still have strong ties to Long Island, I'm a member of the Great South Bay Amateur Radio Club. It's a really great club, and I try to work them when I can. We have a D-Star repeater there that I can, you know, link directly into, mm-hmm. and I work them on HF whenever I can. In Southern California, I'm a member of the PAPA system, and the PAPA system is an amazing repeater system. It's multiple, I think as many as 14 linked repeaters, both analog and D-Star. It's a big D-Star system. They're moving into DMR now too. So I'm a member of those clubs, and because my mom and dad lived in Stuart, Florida, and I have ham friends there, I joined some Florida clubs too. So I'm in quite a few clubs.
That is really great. We know that clubs are the backbone of the hobby, mm-hmm. and the glue that you know, allows the sharing of ideas and things like we're doing here at Contest University. But here in recent years, you have become active. You've kind of built your own club, mm-hmm. On the set of a major show, and tell us about that.
Well, really, when Tim Allen came to the show, we discussed his character, Mike Baxter. And we said, well, what will Mike? Mike will be a man's man. He'll be a hunter, camper, fisher, and he will represent all the activities that his fictitious chain store outdoor man sells equipment for. But Mike Baxter and Tim Allen himself love technology. And I think that Mike Baxter is a bit of a survivalist. So Tim said he would have a bomb shelter and freeze-dried food, and he'd have a generator. But it'd also have radio equipment. And of course, my ears perked up, and I said, what do you mean by radio equipment? And he said, you know, ham radio. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm very, very familiar with ham radio. I'm ham. I've been ham most of my life, actually. And I said, if you want to do that, then we can hook you up. But being not just a producer, but a ham, I knew that if I was going to put that stuff on the set, I would make it real. So we called a number of manufacturers, and luckily for us, Ray Novak at ICOM was kind enough to to loan, not give, but loan some equipment to the show. Each year he'll loan us some equipment. And we hooked it up to real antennas on the roof of the stage, which is about 60 or 70 feet up in the air. Turns out to be a good station. You know, a 200 watt ICOM radio, like a 7851, on a nice dipole on the roof of a stage will give you a pretty good signal.
Yeah.
So we formed, in order to enjoy the radio equipment, we got some of our crew licensed. We encouraged them and incentivized them getting their licenses. I have about 35 licensed crew members now, which is pretty good. It comes and goes over the years. Some come onto the show, some leave the show. And including, by the way, Tim Allen, who's now a licensed ham, which is, we're proud to say. We formed the KA6LMS Ham Radio Club.
Wow.
Which allows us to work as a club from the set of Last Man Standing. So oftentimes during dinner on our show night, which is a Tuesday night, we will take about an hour to an hour and a half while the crew's at dinner and the lights are shut down, because that'd be a lot of RFI, and we will work stations from, or whoever wants to call us, usually on 20 or 40 meters, for about an hour. Well, we've had some pretty good pileups.
I can imagine.
People want to talk to KA6LMS, so it's been so much fun.
That's very cool, and the fact that you've involved the crew in your hobby, and I'm sure they see the passion that you have for the amateur radio hobby and how much it's meant to you, and then when you dovetail a very successful show together like that, that's tremendous. And you're a standout in the amateur radio community. You share, you're visible, and we're very proud to have somebody who has taken amateur radio and taken it to the next level in their profession.
Well, thank
so
you.
Congratulations.
And mostly it's just fun.
Yes. You're just a big kid having fun.
That's what ham radio is all about.
So thanks to John for stopping in today, and this will put the wrap on another edition of DX Engineering Videos. That's it.